look at our Great Lightning Bolt critical chance. 100% with 419% critical damage. What? The same thing happened to our Spark. 100% critical hit chance. And this is in town without any buff. We killed the ritual boss all the way from difficulty 0 to difficulty 4 without any problem. The footage will show how easily we can kill all of the Uber bosses. Let's pick a map for testing. This is a T16 map with +1. This is the mapping with Temporalis, which is very expensive. Then I'll talk about the much cheaper version later in the video. In the map, you can see we just zoom in, blink. We just do this. We don't care about anything. We just keep rolling in the map. Everything just die. We just pick up the loot, right? See, look at that. We just keep rolling. Everything dies just around us. If we don't use Temporalis, look at here. I use a very cheap armor here, just some energy shield, maximum life, and whatever resistance that we can put it on. I don't really optimize on the armor, but just for demonstration purposes. So you can see this is the boss. When we're hitting the boss, we can just dodge, cast the Eye of Winter, whatever that will be. Why this boss is a little bit stronger than before? Okay, because we can dodge. But we still kill the boss. No problem here. Pick up all the loots. With Temporalis, we can do this dodging very quickly to clear all the map. Without Temporalis, I think we can still do the very similar damage, but we won't be able to zoom in the map. That's the difference between using Temporalis and not using Temporalis. This is a T16 map with +1. We have 10 points in the boss difficulty. This is the maximum. I think this build is capable of doing probably any content in the game right now. And if we have Temporalis on, we can just do this zoom. If we don't have that Temporalis on, we can just zoom a couple of seconds. However, we can manually cast our Spark to trigger all of the Great Lightning Bolts. The only expensive piece is Temporalis. I'm using Ingenuity belt here, but you don't have to use it. You can just find a rare belt that covers all of the resistance gaps. This is the one I'm using. If you don't have the budget for the critical hit chance, that should be fine. This build will be really shine until we get probably around 60% critical chance. That really will feel pretty good about the damage. Other than that, I will have the planner link in the description for you to check all the details. On the passive tree, it's very similar to what we had before. However, I'm using this jewel. This is new. The reason of using this jewel is that we can basically connect to the point in this ring without really connecting other smaller passives here. So you can see we can just directly connect to this notable node, this one. So we save all of the smaller node from here all the way to here. The only critical thing is to look at the first line there. Only affect passive in the massive range. So look for the keyboard massive. And then on the minus elemental resistance, you want to have the lowest number as possible. And also same thing for the chaos resistance. As long as you can cap your resistance, that should be fine. With all the saved point, I went down to the bottom here to have more crit and crit damage. That's why we are able to achieve 100% critical chance. Another critical aspect on the gear is the jewel. We can get critical hit chance or critical hit chance for spells. And we should get recover percentage of mana on kill on half of our jewels. This will recover a lot of our mana. As we have mana over matter, this will provide us a very good defensive layer. And we have another 1% here with some critical hit chance. I believe we also have 2% here with a critical chance. To make up for the critical hit chance, we can actually get double crit on the jewel. Look at this one. We have 15% increased critical hit chance and also 12% increased critical hit chance for spells. Together, this one jewel provides us 27% critical hit chance. And other stats such as increased maximum energy shield, spell damage, elemental damage, trigger spell damage, lightning damage. These are all nice to have, but the most critical ones are critical hit chance. If you can get somehow critical damage bonus on the jewel, That's gonna be even more OP. And let's talk about other classes. The good thing for Blood Mage is that we can have this Ascendancy node to increase our base critical chance for spells to 15%. The original critical chance for Spark is 9%. With that Ascendancy, this will be increased to 15%. This cast on dodge will trigger a lot of spark, and the spark will crit 100% of the time. That will trigger great lightning bolt here. For cast on critical, I'm using spark here because if I put this on, everything just dies round, like even from far away, because spark has a pretty decent range. One of the good things is that using spark is actually saved a lot of the cluttering on the graphic. Just using spark, I have much better time in the latency and also the resolution. Previously, I was using Frost Wall, following some guidance online. That one is good because the Great Lightning can kill our own Frost Wall and deal overkill damage. With Spark, it doesn't do that, but with the damage that we have, we don't really need that. If you really want experiment with different setup, here you can put any spell, like a Comet, if you want to really go for that. The last piece worth to mention is this Griefs, deal 30% overkill damage to enemies. Our Great Lightning Bolt creates 100% of the time and it deals a lot of damage. And we can also deal 30% increase overkill damage. That will greatly increase our clearance speed. I have a unique mana flask here. It's like a panic button. To refill the mana instantly, you can just use a regular mana potion. Let's talk about other Ascendancy. If you don't have that Ascendancy point to increase base crit chance for spell to 15%, you can actually use some spell. Eye of Winter already have 20% critical chance. You just find a spell that has high critical chance to trigger the Great Lightning Bolt. That's basically the gist of it. So no matter you're using Spark, you're using Eye of Winter or whatever spell that you feel like to use, just invest in the critical hit chance, then you will basically be able to play similar build. This can be set up, in my opinion, in any of the class there. If you found this video interesting, like, comment, and subscribe to support us. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.